Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Hope everybody had a great Tuesday. So just before I start, quick introduction for anybody who's new to me, new to my Twitter X, new to my YouTube, or new to our community. All these trade recaps and all these teachings are from any ideas that I share in the community, guide in the community, or I share on Twitter X, any swing ideas, trade idea, day trades, or investments, or any ideas that I share with you guys in previous YouTube videos. So we trade a repeatable system in the stock market, and that repeatable system that is used by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently. System is Ripster EMA Cloud system, and we trade repeatable setups. System is how you trade, setup is what you trade. So every morning, me and my team, we create a game plan for the day. You see the game plan for the day in front of you. It has we make a list of the stocks that can move today. Based upon earning, news, upgrades, downgrades, and then we have market plays, which are market dependent stocks, and then we have other names as well. You can see today's watch list. There was Shop, SC, HD, bunch of other names which were on our watch list today. We also provide a list of the trades called MSTR, which has a day 2, day 3 setups. Today we try to play MNDY on day 2. Didn't really work, but some of the day 2 setups were definitely doing good. We will recap them as well. This is a repeatable strategy. I did a free webinar on X, and we also have a webinar in the community, how to trade day 2, day 3 setups. It's pretty stress-free strategy. We also provide crypto levels every day. Anybody interested in trading Bitcoin, coin, MSTR, any crypto-related stock, which have been paying pretty well. And also we provide the levels for SPY, QQQ, IWM, all the marketplace. A lot of these levels worked out nicely, especially for Meta, which we'll recap. We'll talk about SPY. We'll also look at SPY, the fade today, midday shorts, how the people made money on that, what was the setup. So I'm usually on the voice first few hours of the market open. In our community, we have a lot of 5-6 screeners, option flow scanners, stock scanners, breaking news, audio news alert, book map. We have a bunch of the tools that we provide in our community for free for the traders to keep eyes on. I'm on voice. I guide through the market open. We have our morning trades. We have a lot of our concepts which you need to learn if you want to trade with us, like 9:30 amateur move concept, trend move concept, 10 a.m. concept, VIX concepts, 10 a.m. flags, all those which I covered in detail in my webinars, or either you can watch the YouTube recaps from last year, over 500 plus recaps, then you can learn those. So that's what we do. So hundreds of traders are on the trading floor all day, sharing trade ideas and setups all day. We'll talk about that as well, and I will show you my timestamped comments. I can't really show you what we did on the voice, but I can definitely show you my timestamped guidance. We are not an alert service. We give the full, we give every tool to trade, and we have everything to trade. Of course, I guide through the trades, but the expectation is that traders are already know what to do and then use my guidance to trade consistently. There are some rules that we need to follow. We also always need to have entry close to the clouds or to the levels. We do not FOMO. We don't try to hit home runs every day. I don't take all the trades that I guide. Today my main trade was Shop, TSN, but I have to guide through all the trades. So I will recap most of the trades, losers, winners. MNDY was a loser today. So we'll talk about that. SC also trend loser. We'll discuss that. Let's start. All right, let's start with SC. So let's see what was happening with SC. Let's look at the SC stock. SC is one of our long-term investment plays in the community that we were invested in. So let's look at SC. Okay, so we'll look at the pre-market game plan and we'll see what happened with SC. So let's go back. Let's say look here. Okay, so SC 104, 108 were two support levels. 114.50 was resistance level. Cautious of 512 breaks. Bullish to neutral bias. When I saw it pushing over this level and hold this 108, this area, I could risk this, and I told everybody long. Let's go to 3-minute chart and see. You can see that. So let's see. So you see that I gave it a long right at the open, and from that price of 112, it pushed. It pushed. Even if I go to 1 minute, I can show you that as well. So if you look at the 1 minute candle, right? So you see the 1 minute candle, and then it started to push and over 112, and then I gave it a long, and there was a lot of volume there. If you see, there was a lot of volume that was trading 604 6. That candle was a 641,000 candle. The next candle was almost 500,000 shares. At that time, the first trade, initial trade, kind of worked out nicely there. It kind of pushed. It pushed into the 117. 12. If you were just scalping the amateur move, it would push nicely there. But that's the key concept, right? Amateur move doesn't mean anything unless you get the trend move. So amateur move was fine. That was fine. That was working out nicely. Then we got a little pullback on the second candle. Let's see here. All right, so you see this pullback to 114. And that was fine again, because that again pushed towards 116, 117 area. So far it was looking good. The trade was looking good. You're not supposed to add here. You're supposed to add closer to the clouds, right? You're supposed to add closer to the clouds. So at that time, lower highs, and try to break the flag, failed the flag. When it did this, I knew it's not going to work, because we are not even getting a higher low. It's 10 a.m. and even after that. And that time I realized it's not going to work. We finally stopped out right here when these clouds broke, over a $2 per share loss. And we just moved on, right? Yes, it faded on the 512 later in the day. But the point to understand here is stock will do what it wants to do. If you're not trading the amateur move like fast, then you can't add here. You can't add here. If you're adding here, you already know your risk is like $5. If you're adding here, your risk is $2-3. But also this stock runs $7, $8, $9, $10. So $2, $3, $4 risk is fine. Your loser dollar that you're going to lose should always be the same. Your number of shares, they decrease, right? If I'm adding here and I only want to lose $1,000, and if I'm adding at 115, and have a $5 stop, then I know that I can only do like 250 shares, because once they pull back $4, I'm going to lose $1,000. So your size of your shares change. And if you're doing options, you can definitely not do a lot of options, because they're going to lose a lot of value. You have to understand that. So you have to understand the sizing. So good ads was this pullback right here, and wait to see it makes a new high, and then you stop out. So that was the amateur move, and then this was our trend move, which didn't work. But understand the range, and we followed our system. Now, if our entry is bad, our loser can be big, but we followed our system. So we followed our system, and that's why we stopped out. And now we'll talk about the winners, how they worked out, and you compare those to SC. Okay, so let's go and let's look at that next place. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Shop. So let's go back and see the difference between Shop and what SC was doing. So let's see here. So Shop, bullish buys to long, the pullback to 512s, 10200 support, 111 resistance. So once I saw that difference here is Shop, I waited a little bit, right? Yeah. I didn't do the first candle, but the second candle when it started to push, that's what it confirmed the long when it was trying to push here. Still, it gave a big red candle. That's fine. It was a little scary because it was rejecting this pre-market high. You can see that. But but we cannot cut until our 512s hold. We cannot cut. That's our risk, right? So we had it at 109s, and our stops were right under this 107. So $2 stops. And so I said 512 longs confirmed. So I said 512. So you see that I said longs confirmed because this curl and this breakout was confirming the long. And I continuously try to guide everyone, and you see this pushing, and this you can add here. So once it pushed out here, high of the day, pre-market high breakout, you can add more. On this one, on the shop, let's see what was happening again here. So on the shop, 110 calls were good. They went 100%, 150%. Because if you see that, if I really expanded the shop from 109 went to 111s, 112s, 113s, 114s. My final target, my 114.50 was the first target, and I was also looking at 115. So almost met the 114.50 target. We met it. We hold the runners. You take most off here, pulls back. You see this retest. It's a retest. Retest held the 512. You do not cut it. You hold it. Respect the system, and you can also play this 512 calls. A lot of traders in the community were playing this call, and you play it again, get some shares. Even if you get, let's say you get 500 shares, right? And you're risking what? You're risking like $500. And then when it pushes to 112, 113, 114, you make $1,000 or maybe $1,500. So that's a good risk reward. So anyways, we hold, we add, we scale out, we hold, we can add again, we watch this, double top, breaks, we get out. So this is where you get out, right? So no reason to cut as long as 512 holds. We double topped. That was our signal to get out. So this is the difference between shop and CE. So this is what you have to understand, how the price moves. Compare the price, and next time you will know what to do, because you will understand the personality of a stock when it moves. All right, so next one we're going to look at is TSN, which is the Tyson Foods. So Tyson Foods were also on watch list. Cautious of 512 break, 63 is a breakout. So I gave a 63 breakout in the pre-market alone. So let's see what was happening with Tyson Foods today. So Tyson Foods, when I saw this holding this 512s, that confirmed me that it's a long, right? That confirmed me it's a long. I could have taken it earlier as well. Because I mentioned the 63 breakout, right? I could have taken it right at the 63 breakout as well. But anyways, even if we waited a little bit, 63.50, 63.60, my target was 65. We hit 65, and then we hit 66. So wherever you added, let's say you added 63, you're hitting 50 cents, you're still making $3 per share. So 1 risk to 6 reward. If you're adding 63.50s, you can use 3 minutes to add it. You're still making, almost $2.50, and you're risking like 60, 70 cents. 2 reward to 1 risk trade. And when finally it breaks 512, you cut out, right? So you can see that how the trades, winning trades are working, how the working versus a losing trade which did not work. Let's go to the next one. So UPST was our short all day. Let's look at it. So far short, watch 69 support. I told everyone right in the morning. I was a little cautious when it was trying to push over the 512 clouds, but it never pushed over the 512 clouds, and it rejected the 1 hour MTF clouds. And a lot of traders were calling it out on our trading floor. A Navy wet was actually on top of UPST all day, so love that. So you can see that UPST was being called out Navy wet right at open by Navy wet on UPST. So great guidance on the trading floor by UPST on the short side. And you don't need to cover. You need to stay short. You need to stay short as long as it stays. If you are an option trader, you can do a starter 70 puts and see how that goes. And then if it starts to working, you can scale in. So let's look here. These are the 70 puts that if I see it, they went from 210 all the way to 450, almost 150% there. That went there 150% on that push. And once it makes this curl out of here, then you get out, right? So that was our UPST. All right, let's look at NVDA now. So NVIDIA was on our game plan this morning. NVIDIA had a news. Let's go back to the game plan, because if you're not reviewing the game plan, you'll be a little lost. Citigroup just the price target to 170, and our levels on NVIDIA were pretty clear. We had 146.86, 147.16. Those were resistance levels. So once they clear those levels that I gave in the pre-market, then that means it's going to push, right? So that was a triggered long. I mentioned it. It's pulling down, but it's not breaking the 512s. It's swiping back up. So you stay long. And that was a lot of voice guidance on NVIDIA. That was I talking about there. You stay long, and then you see that NVIDIA worked out. Since the morning when I said triggered long, NVIDIA went from 146.89 towards 149.65. There was a big seller on NVIDIA at 150, 2 million shares I mentioned. A lot of traders short it versus that C minus. That's fine. You made a nice little scalp if you short it versus 150. You long it, sell it, short it, make money both sides. NVIDIA was a good one today. Doesn't have to be home run. Base hits add up. All right, so let's look at Home Depot, HD. So HD, as you know, it was on our game plan right here. Support was 412.14, 420, neutral to bullish bias to long. So that was our plan on HD, neutral to bullish bias to long, 412, 414. But the moment it breaks down here, this level, I'm not interested in long. If I saw a green candle over here, I would have been interested in long. I'm not interested in long. This candle tells me I'm not interested in long. So I told everybody, gap fill short, no long. And from that time, Home Depot, you see it try to cross. This is where you short these bounces. You short these bounces right here in the clouds. And from those bounces, from 938, when I mentioned it, it went on to fade all the way from 411s, even 410s, all the way to 404s. So you can see that once the level I gave in the pre-market of 412 gave up, it's a short, right? It's a short from 412s all the way to 404s. So that was a nice $6 per share short. Beautiful, beautiful winner there. Let's quickly look at Meta. Meta was basically the morning trade on flow. It was morning trade from, let's see, what a range Meta. Meta had flow started to come in, and right at open, I mentioned that flow is coming in. Since I mentioned on Meta, it pushed from 590, 91s all the way to 600, almost close to 600. So that was a good long. When it does that, you exit. When it breaks here, you exit. The news bot in the community alerted a news, and it faded as well. And after that was nothing. Even 512 calls failed. So let's look at our day 2 setup, MNDY. So MNDY, Monday MNDY, it failed the long setup on day 2. But, you can see that it rejected the MTF clouds. So I know it's a long, but it's not a confident long until it breaks out of the MTF clouds. And then it rejected. You can short here, you can short here, and you can see the day 2, day 3 levels right here on MNDY, 273, 276, 74. So once it broke that 273, this area, it was a short. So you have to use the levels we give you if you're in the community, in the pre-market. So if it kind of moved up here, it would have been nice long. So we can look at some other day 2. Let's look at FTNT, so you will get some idea. So if you look at FTNT, and it has been a day 3 setup, every day it runs. And if you look at the levels on FTNT, let's say there was a level here, 96.2, 97.20. So you can see that, you can see those levels, right? 97.20. And then there was another level at 98. So held the clouds, day 2 long, day 3 long, right? So that was day 2, 3 day 2 setups. Let's look at Honeywell, HON. So Honeywell was a gap and crap setup today. Honeywell, let's see. It was on our watch list. It was on our game plan. I didn't put the levels. I forgot to put them there. But regardless, it was on my watch list. When I saw it breaking in the 512s, I knew it's going to be a short. and it tried to curl, so we were about to get stopped out if it curled over, but you see that it never curled and it stayed a gap fill short. I gave a target of 34.50. We actually even met more than that target, if you see that. And you can always draw Fibonacci's wherever you like. You can watch high of that candle if you want, but you can see that it's a gap and crap setup. So that was a gap and crap setup. So if you draw the gap here, you will see that right here was the gap. This was the gap, and it crapped through. All right, let's quickly look at Tesla. So understand when is something long and when is something short, just like on UPST. Tesla broke the 10-minute clouds yesterday, broke the 10-minute clouds in pre-market. It was bearish. As long as it's under 10-minute EMA clouds, Tesla is bearish. You can clearly see bearish, bearish, bearish. Although it was not giving a good short, it was choppy, 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 choppy. But finally it gave a short right here, middle of the day, short right here, middle of the day. And we were tracking the buyers. We were tracking it live. And then Tesla broke down there, hit 325s. There was a buyer there. Then it's still fading because it's breaking this 1 hour cloud. Tesla is let's look here. Because Tesla is breaking that 1 hour cloud, that's why it's super bearish. So understand your trend following system. The EMA clouds will tell you the trend following system. It was long for us 3 days in a row. We made a lot. We did a lot of profits there. But now the system is clearly telling you it's bearish. Even if you draw a trend line on 10 minutes, it's bearish. Now, as long as it's under 1 hour cloud, it's going to be bearish and it's going to fade down. So understand that, for example, UPST, understand that if it's breaking the level, breaking the pre-market lows, look at the Ripster levels, they are bearish. Everything is bearish. So do not rush to buy the stock if everything is bearish there. All right, let's look at China names quickly. So China was also on our watch list. This was gapping down. China, I think, scared by Trump coming in, is going to put a lot of tariffs. Watch the China names 31, 31, 30, and it broke the 31. And once QWEB broke 31, you could trade the puts on it, and all day fade. Nothing much to recap here. You know, same was for PDD, morning fades. Same was for Futu, morning fades. But QWEB itself was much better short. It's a China ETF than overall all the other names. You can see that this fade until this curls here. QWEB was nice. This was a gap down and fade. All right, let's look at SPY QQQ. So SPY QQQ today was choppy initially. The start of the day was choppy, but it became a bearish short when it broke this bear flag, when it broke this, when we broke this. A lot of traders in the community traded this short here when it broke the cloud. Initially it was choppy, and here's the thing, right? We've been running crazy for so many days, so it's fine. We need to have a breather, right? So once this level was gone, it was a nice midday short. Nice midday short, even short this. I think you know, we actually longed QQQ in the chop in the morning, but just want to tell you that system tells you, right? You can see clearly see the trend riding this blue wave. That's the 10-minute clouds, and then clearly we are on the downside. So there's no long. There, of course, there was a chop. There was a chop. No need to trade SPY QQQ. Watch my SPY QQQ webinar. Explain that. What once this is happening, breaking 1 hour MTF, it's clearly a short. A nice money made in the community on the puts. Anyways, that's it for guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you tomorrow.